All right. Am I situated?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
All right. Welcome back to Frickin Scary, episode 3 with Holly and Melorie. Thank you guys for coming back. If you've been listening to our other episodes, we're grateful for anybody who's hanging around. We have a pretty good episode for today. We're going to talk about some scary music that we've found, which I think is pretty cool. We're going to talk about another personal experience. Malorie's going to get into some pretty heavy stuff. Excited. And at the end, we are going to jump on the scary movie train. We're going to give you guys a recommendation for just one of our scary movies, all-time favorites. Just, one of those movies you can watch anytime. So if you guys are joining us, listening in, thanks for coming. Basically, today's March 25th, 2021. So Melorie, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Tell us your favorite scary music, scary song.
Okay. This is hard to explain. Okay, so every year, not even every year, like probably about twice a year, I will watch this one special that used to be on the TV channel Bravo. It's called 100 Scariest Movie Moments. And they bring on like directors and actors, and they just talk about they had like a voting panel online one year. And I've been watching this since I don't know, early 2000s when it came out. And they did like a voting panel and people voted on the 100 scariest movie moments. And then that's what all these actors and stuff would talk about.
Okay. So why were we not invited?
Right? Like I'm an expert.
That's literally my
I'm not
profession.
famous. No, that's why. Oh wait, because I'm nobody and nobody knows me. Okay.
You know what? I don't appreciate that. I'm personally offended.
Rude. But so I always watch it. Like whenever I have to do something that I know it's going to take me a really long time, I'll find it on YouTube because they don't play it on Bravo anymore. And I just watch it and it's like 4 hours long. And I just love it because the people on there are funny, or you're like, yeah, that is creepy. And even though I've seen it 1,000 times, I love it every time. And there's this one clip where they're talking about the movie Suspiria. And I've never seen it. I've never seen it either. And for some reason, just the clip that they showed, it's from the trailer. I'm going to bring it up. I recorded it on my phone so that I would have it ready.
It's called Suspirian, like CIS.
Suspiria, like Hesperia, but Suspiria.
Oh my gosh, shout out Hesperia, California.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking too.
So Suspiria. Okay, I'm going to look it up.
Suspiria. Okay, so I can't make it stop. Stop playing. Okay. So, okay, stop. Okay, and it just zoomed in. Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna rewind it. Okay, so it's just of this skeleton getting her hair combed, but let me see.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Totally what cheesy. The heck?
Like totally cheesy, okay?
Is that a skeleton or a monkey?
I don't know. It's like a skeleton or something, right? It's a movie from the 70s, so it's like really cheesy, corny.
Oh my gosh, but okay.
That one clip, okay, she goes, "It'll be the end of you." And when I first seen it like on the TV, I was like, "Oh my God, that's so corny." But then I'm at work, okay, and we always get these new CDs that come in that we play over the speakers.
Right.
And they're always of like popular songs, but they're popular songs that somebody covered or that were like a remix. So they're never really very good and they always kind of change.
Right.
And there's this one song by what's her name? What was it? Shirley Horn. And it's her song Return to Paradise, but it's been remixed by Mark DeClive Lowe. Okay. And just like one morning it was on and I was just like listening to it. And there's this one part in it where she sings and just the way her voice goes up reminded me of that stupid skeleton. And I got freaked out. And I was like,
in the middle of work? Oh my God.
I wasn't scared of the skeleton to begin with, but just the
You
memory
heard
of
it.
it.
Yeah. You
And
heard
it
it.
just like triggered this weirdness. So let me see.
So it's called Suspirian.
Suspiria.
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 Okay.
And this is the song by Shirley Horn. And you probably
Hold it
won't
up.
even hear
Hold
it
it
like
up
I
so we
did.
can see.
All right.
And find your peace of mind. Return.
Oh, I heard
You
it.
know how her voice goes up?
To paradise.
Okay. And that, I don't know why, it just, and then it keeps repeating it and repeating it.
Okay, but that
And I'm
song's
just like,
kind of creepy anyway. I feel
right?
like
It's not a
that
good,
song.
I mean, the original's good, but not this one.
No, but you know when there's always like subliminal messaging in a movie, and they always have a song going on repeat. Why does
Yeah.
that song make me think that someone's like subliminally messaging people in Old Navy? Buy our
Right?
stuff. Buy our
Buy
stuff.
our stuff. You'll like our jeans. Yeah, I
Oh
don't
my
know,
gosh.
man. It's just
Okay,
it's the
I'm gonna
craziest
add
thing.
I'm gonna add the clip. We'll put a link in
Oh,
to that
okay.
video. Send that to me. We'll put it there because that's really creepy. Now I want to hear it.
It's, I mean, the song's okay until she goes to paradise, and I don't know. It just triggered it, and I've never had a reaction like that to a song.
I love the YouTube you pulled up too, though, because that looked like a skeleton monkey.
That's where it was. That's what it was on the show. I don't know.
I love it. Okay.
Weird skeleton.
All right.
Okay, what's yours?
So mine actually, believe it or not, comes from a Disney movie. But this is from Disney Maleficent, the one with Angelina Jolie. And it's a cover by Lana Del Rey, who has like the most beautiful, deep, very husky kind of voice. And so this is at the end of the movie. And I'm just gonna play it. Oh shoot. No, not the ads. We're gonna get sued. Okay. Okay, so this is the remake of Once Upon a Dream. Can you hear it?
No. Oh.
Okay,
Play louder.
It's coming up.
Oh.
I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you, that look in your eyes was so familiar.
Okay.
So like you don't understand.
That's all I'm gonna play.
Say this. No, I hate to say this, but the fact that you have a crappy Android phone made it creepier because it wasn't playing the audio correctly. It was playing it very like stuttered
like
and
all
like
weird. Hey, that's even better. That
even better.
means that Satan has entered the room, and we are now surrounded by evil spirits. Okay, if you Google, anyone listening, go to YouTube, just listen to her sing this track. It's beautifully haunting, and it gives you this vibe of like, I could see this being played on a horror death scene. You don't hear them being stabbed. You don't hear them being chased. You just see a girl being chased by a guy with a knife, and you just hear this music playing right over the top of it.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like a really nice song about somebody falling in love.
The original,
and,
when was this recorded? 1940s, 1950s. Is beautiful, sung by a soprano, beautiful voice. Lana Del Rey just like did her thing, totally blasted it out, made it super creepy and dark, because Maleficent is a very dark movie.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's Disney. So anyway, check it out. That's one of my favorite, like, kind of weird, creepy zombie guy getting stabbed type of songs.
It's like that one movie, Reservoir Dogs, where the guy's getting his ear cut off and Caught in the Middle with You is playing, and you're like, this is such a happy song, and this guy's getting mutilated. It's just like one of those songs that's crazy.
It's because it's that juxtaposition of murder and happiness, and you're like
in the middle with you,
and then getting his freaking ear cut off. That's one of the most graphically gory movies I think I've ever seen in my life. I think it's rated. I think Reservoir Dogs is rated like there's more blood in that movie than in any movie.
It's a Tarantino movie. I mean, what do you expect? You know, it's going to
He's
have
a
blood and
genius.
grossness. I know.
But what's funny is that is a creepy movie too, even though it's not. Tarantino isn't like a creepy filmmaker, but the blood. I mean, remember there's parts where I swear they threw a bucket of blood on the windshield. You remember that part? Like I swear
In
they
Pulp
were just
Fiction or in Reservoir Dogs?
no, in Reservoir Dogs they
Oh,
were literally just throwing buckets of blood. Like
I guess I don't remember that. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I haven't seen it
Yeah.
either, but I just remember anyway. But yeah, so that's my kind of creepy song. I think it just I think more people need to do music like that. I love that kind of weird, you know. I don't if I ever have to hear Ariana Grande again, like just stab my ears, please. I know. Anyway, I will cut that part out because that's
we're gonna get sued by that bitch.
We will get sued. We will get sued by first. I love how we literally are saying we're gonna get sued because we at least are telling people like we know we probably shouldn't be saying this.
I know, but we're gonna say it anyways because that's what we do.
Anyway, yeah. All right. So yeah. So that's my favorite scary. So Suspiria, Maleficent. Check them out. Super creepy. Love that kind of stuff. And then Mallory, I think you wanted to roll into a little bit about The Man.
Yeah, I want to talk
experience.
some more about
Okay,
The Man.
I'm super excited to this, so go ahead and take over.
Okay, so I've talked about The Man before. I've talked about basically just the good man where I just see him and he's just there, whatever. But as time goes on in my life with the man in it, there has also been the bad man. And I think it's two different entities because one feels when it comes around, one feels, you know, like benign, and the other one feels malevolent.
Right.
So wait, how do I say this? The bad man, I started out, I guess, I want to say he started out in my car. Did he start out in my car? Yeah, I guess he did because I was okay. Let me just start. Please cut all that shit out.
So just say what you're gonna say. Yeah,
okay.
See, get comfortable. Okay, just forget everything I said. Say whatever you're gonna say.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna drink my Red Bull.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna start. All right. I'm pretty sure that my first experience with the bad man started when I was in my car. I was driving to Home Depot when I first moved to Hawaii, and we had first moved into our house there in Waianae. Shout out Waianae.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what I needed from Home Depot, but Home Depot opens at like 5:30, you know, because all the Mexicans need to get their stuff. And I'm one of those Mexicans, and I did some stuff. So I'm driving, and I was talking to my friend B, who lives in Texas. So it was like 8:00 over there or something, probably like 9:00. And I was talking to her and driving. And then I was like, okay, girl, I gotta go. You know, I'm almost to Home Depot and I'll talk to you later. So I hang up the phone and I'm just driving and I haven't turned my music back on yet. And then from the back seat, I hear, she doesn't know. And I was like, what? Yeah. And I was just like driving and I'm like, and I look in my rear view and I don't see anything. And I like want to look back, but like, I can't, like, you know how you're like, if I don't see it, it's not happening. So I didn't want to look back. And then I'm looking at my dash because I'm thinking, oh, maybe the phone is still connected. Maybe it's like, oh, she doesn't know we're still on the phone. Right.
She's still talking and yeah.
No, but it had hung up. It was nothing. And so I'm just like in a Home Depot, like, oh my God. And I don't want to say like it was bad. That doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like something whispering, but it is bad because it's saying she doesn't know I'm here. She doesn't know I'm listening. She doesn't know I'm right here. So to me, I think that was my first time.
But like, do you think it was saying she doesn't know to you, or she doesn't know like what's okay? I'm going to creep you out. What if it was talking to something else?
That's what I think. I think it was talking either to itself,
but not
or
even about
else.
Yeah, not even about you. It was just talking. You just happened to hear it because you're sitting in your car alone.
Maybe it wasn't, maybe I'm not the she.
I would turn
but
around so fast thinking there was a person in the car. But
I guess because I didn't see anything in the rear view, I was like, okay, it's not
But I
tall
get
enough
it.
for me to see.
Right. But I understand that when those things happen, you, like we've said before, in the movies, you freeze a little. You're like I
Mhm.
don't want to turn around because I
freak
don't
out.
want to see. Yeah, I don't want to see if there's someone back there.
I
Ooh,
don't want to see
okay.
it.
Creepy.
So, okay, that was the first time. Then there was, I already come back from Hawaii. I'd already moved back to California, and I was living with my parents in Hesperia. And at my parents' house, there's like a huge gate that we have to go into, and you have to open this gate when you want to come in, and you have to close it because my dad's scared of, I don't know, bad things.
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
like, I always,
sure.
yeah, he always, but it's huge. It's like 12 feet high. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
struggle to close it. And so one day, like my whole family is together. Me, my little brother came over, my sister-in-law, my kids are there, my mom and dad, and we were just hanging out. And then my brother is going home. So we all walk him outside. It's dark. And he's in the car. His car is like, it had pulled into the driveway up the gate. And then it was parked right behind mine. So he gets in his car. My dad opens the gate for him, and he's standing right by the gate so he can close it after Cody leaves. And Cody is backing out, and he has his lights on, and his lights are hitting the back of my car. So it's like lighting up my car.
Right.
So he tells me later on, by the way, which I should say that because it was later after he gets home. Thanks for telling me, 15 minutes later, Cody. He says that as he was backing out, he could see somebody sitting in my back seat. Okay. And they're just sitting there. They're just, I'm going to try to turn around. So,
no, look,
I can't
have
do
chills. Look, I have chills. Oh my gosh.
Right?
No.
So they're just sitting there. Let's pretend this is the back of them. They're just sitting there like this. And then Cody says that as he's still backing out, and he can't even process it. He's like, what? And he says, as they're backing out, it just goes. And it goes down like into this, like it ducks down in the seat. So of course, we're all standing out there watching them back out. I don't see this thing in my car. My mom doesn't see it because we're not really looking in my car. We're just kind of standing next to it.
Right.
My dad didn't see it. He was at the gate, but then I don't think he was looking at my car. I think he was looking at Cody's car.
Right.
So instead of calling me from the car, my brother decides to wait till he gets home. Okay.
To tell you someone's in your back seat of your car at your house.
Yeah. But here's the thing. He took so long to tell me. I know, right? Frickin' Cody. He takes so long to tell me that we had gone inside, and I was like, I got to get something out of my car. And I needed something from my middle console. So I had gone back outside, and I get into my car. I left my door open as I sit in there, and I'm going through my middle part, trying to find it. And that's when I see something in the passenger side window of the front seat walk and then stopped right in the passenger seat. And it's so tall and so wide that it filled up the entire window. And I just go, and I look, and I can just see it standing there. And then that's when I feel something in the back seat. And this thing in the back seat, it felt so angry and so mean. Like, have you ever been just like so mad at somebody and you're staring at them and you're like, and like you can feel the vibe coming off of yourself? I could feel that in my backseat, and I was just like, oh my God. And I could feel myself start to panic. And I'm thinking, I got to get out of this car. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it inside.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, okay. And I just kind of counted myself. And I was like,
why is this making me like emotional almost? Just because I can.
Because your friend almost died?
No, I know what that feeling feels like. And it's so overwhelming to explain that to someone else. Like, these experiences stay with you for so long. They just,
oh yeah,
you know
I can
what I mean?
still feel how it feels. Yeah, I can still remember how it feels. Let me back this microphone up. So
I mean, maybe I'm emotional anyway today, but I can feel that feeling you had of like just darkness closing in and just
Oh yeah, it felt like any
feel. Yeah.
second that thing was going to reach from the back seat and it wanted to hurt. This is what it felt like. It felt like you better get out of this car or I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah. Like I own this car. This is
Yeah,
my
like,
space. You came to my space. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it was pissed. It was pissed at me. And so I'm thinking to
Cody,
myself,
damn
and
it.
this
Why
is,
didn't you tell her sooner? What's
I'm
wrong with
thinking to
you?
myself, like, okay, there's something outside my window and there's something in my back seat. Like, how the heck am I going to get away? So I was just like, I just like steeled myself up and I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. And in like one motion, I grabbed the keys out of the ignition because I turned it on to put the lights on, grabbed the keys, stepped out of the car. And as I'm running, I went, and I closed the door behind me and I booked it like to the house.
Yeah.
And I just went like that with like my keys and I went, and I locked it and I ran into the house. And my mom was like, what the heck's going on? Because I was like in the house. And I was just like, I just saw something outside my window. I just saw something outside my window in my car. And she's thinking it's a person because my parents don't believe me about the man. They think it's all in my head. They think I'm just watching too many scary movies and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's fine.
It's really, this is probably why you and I have taken a long time to talk about things. And also just because it already is scary enough. And then you almost want to share because it's eating you up inside, like such a heavy experience.
You do, and you also want validation.
You
You
know,
want
and you
somebody
want
to
exactly
believe you.
exactly
Yeah,
exactly.
You're like, okay,
and
maybe
so
this person believes me.
it's very strange and awkward for family members who have not had these experiences to understand. Like I have a family member who does that. There's no God, there's no hell, there's no spirits, and that's I do not condemn anyone at all. Every belief is validated to me, but their understanding is that if that stuff isn't real, then these haunted stories, you know, they're joking around. These haunted stories aren't real either, and I'm just making it up in my head, you know. And I told this person, I said, why would I do that? And why would I hold on to this for 20 years and never tell anyone? I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to be a medium. I'm not going around the world saying anything. I've just had these experiences that I cannot explain. And it is invalidating when someone goes, yeah, I just don't believe in any of that. And I'm like, well, then lucky for you, you haven't had negative or positive, but mostly negative experiences that we've had.
But see, that's the thing. My mom has had experiences. She just refuses to believe that there's something following me. She thinks that something otherworldly did something to her. She knows it, but I don't think she believes that I have something either following me or it's the same thing.
So she believes in bad spirits, but she doesn't believe in them being able to attach themselves to a person.
Yeah, because I think because it sounds like a ghost to her and she doesn't believe in ghosts. And I'm like, neither do I. I think it's a bad spirit. I think it's a demon. I think it's some sort of entity. I don't think this thing was alive before. I think it's straight from hell or whatever. And that's it.
I think there are a lot of people who believe, like we've said before, there are entities that were not given the gift of having a body. And so they try to attack or attach themselves to those who do have them. And what's interesting is it's always portrayed as like a crazy person, that a demon can easily take a crazy person. Do I look crazy to you? Does Melorie look crazy to you? Like,
I don't look crazy. I am a little bit crazy. And I don't know if it's, I'm gonna say crazy. I want to say like, because I'm super sensitive to things and I'm always like like my shirt. That's what I was showing you, overthinking. Like I always overthink stuff.
But what I'm saying is they always equate it to like, oh, well, that person was insane.
Yeah, like a weak mind. Yeah.
I'm not weak-minded. You're not weak-minded. And so I think that actually goes against our defense of ourselves. Like, like, you're so logical. Why are you like working yourself up into this? And I'm like, I'm not working myself up into anything. I actually have had these experiences and couldn't talk about them for so long because that's how intense they were. And I've had children. I literally almost gave birth without any pain medication. I know what these experiences feel like. You see what I'm saying?
And also because we're logical, because we're so sane minded, we're like, you don't even want to believe it yourself. You want to go, this isn't happening. This isn't happening.
Yeah. Oh, so, or sometimes, like for you especially, I always go, why is this happening?
Yeah, why is this happening to me? Like, I'm boring. Who am I?
And for the sake of argument, your experiences and my experiences are very different. Very, very different. Mine are individual. Mine are like, this is one, that's one, that's one. Yours are, this is a thing that happens consistently and on a you know, plane. So it's not like you and I are both going, oh yeah, we experience the same things. No, even you and I experience completely different things.
Yeah.
And so it just, I just want to put that on the episode because I think I think this can sound insincere because we do joke, but the reality is
I think that's because, no, it's because we've been dealing with it for so long.
It's because we've been dealing with it since I was 17.
We use humor as a defense mechanism as well. You and I both do. When we're uncomfortable, when we're anxious, it's jokes all the time. It's a way to relieve the stress. So that's why.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Melorie. Go ahead.
Oh,
I know you have more. Yeah.
Rude.
No. It just, you know, this is why we do this. We want to talk about these experiences and what they mean and how they've affected us.
Yeah. Why else talk about it? I'm not just here to, I'm here to figure it out, dude.
I'm just here to drink Red Bull. I hope I don't get sued for that.
Oh Lord. I have generic water, so I'm safe.
Product placement. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, so I tell my mom, she doesn't believe me. She sends my dad out there to look for somebody, you know, person. Nobody's out there, of course. Then my brother calls me like legit an hour later. Like he did not call me right after he got home. He called me an hour later and he was freaked out because he said, Mel, he was just like, this wasn't, he goes, I knew right away this wasn't a person. I knew this was the man because my brother has actually seen, because he's seen the man before and he's experienced it. He's felt it. So he believes me. And he goes, I knew right away that that's what it was. He goes, and I just needed to get out of there. I just needed to get away.
Wow. Yeah. So validation for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm mad at him for not calling me, but I'm not because I get it. Like he was freaked out. It's scary.
It's very hard to process. It's very, very hard to process something that it's surreal. Where do you put that in your brain in a physical world? Because it's not that it's
not easy to do that. Yeah.
Frickin' Cody, still frickin' Cody.
Frickin' Cody. So there's that one. And then there's just like little things that happen every now and again in my car. And sometimes I think sometimes it's the man and sometimes it's maybe just the normal man and he's just like being silly because like I'll be driving and then all of a sudden I'll feel through my seat into like the small of my back. I'll feel the seat go and press on my back.
No, that's still creepy.
For the longest time, I thought it was because where I work, you know, in down the hill. I know people from all over don't understand that, but it's literally Hesperia, where I used to live, is up a huge hill, like a huge mountain. You have to go through the San Bernardino Mountains.
Shout out to the Cajon Pass.
You have to go up the Cajon Pass. So it's like a 25-minute incline. And I used to think, oh, it's not the man, it's the pressure from the changing elevation. It's making my seat plastic. So I ignored it. But then I moved down the hill and now I live in normal elevation and I will feel it just driving down the street.
See, I appreciate that you even suggest like, this isn't something supernatural. This is just something that's happening. So your first thought wasn't, oh, there's probably something in the backseat bugging me. Your first thought was like, that's just my car.
It's just the plastic expanding because the pressure is changing from, you know, city to mountains. That's what I thought it was for the longest
Hmm.
time.
Interesting.
But no, it's definitely does it. And sometimes it'll just be like,
Like
and
I'm
it'll feel
here.
silly. Yeah, that one's will feel silly. And then sometimes it feels like, and that one I think is the man just going like,
Right.
hey,
But that's what I expressed when I shared about Adelaide last time. Her little spirit, it was just sweet. There wasn't, as creepy as it is,
yeah, there was no bad vibe.
there was no bad vibe. You just know.
Yeah.
You know when a spirit is bad and you know when a spirit is good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
you know, you can feel it.
maybe you have a little kid spirit.
Oh, I don't want no little kid spirits. Uh-uh.
Kids are
No,
creepy.
those are the worst kind.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So
love it.
then there's that. Okay, that kind of just happens consistently. I know I'm like, no big deal, but that just happens kind of consistently. The most recent thing that happened though, that was really not cool. So I leave for work super early in the morning. I leave by 3:00 in the morning to go to work.
Yeah,
And
we are literally like Instagramming each other at like 2 a.m.
it's really early. So you're
Which is-
tired and like you're not really paying attention. And I'm just like trying to get my stuff and just get to work. I'm still trying to wake up. And the kids are asleep and everything. So I had just finished making my coffee and I'm coming out of the kitchen and coming through the dining room to go to the front door. And I see down my hallway, because I can see from the dining room down my hallway to the bedrooms, I see something standing in the hallway. And it was really tall and dark. And the only light that was hitting it was from real far away in the kitchen.
Does it
and
ever end, Mallory? Does it ever
No.
end?
No. And I wasn't prepared for it because this was the first time I'd seen him in, I want to say years, because I had felt him, but this was the first time I'd seen him.
Do you think
in
it's
years.
because of us doing the podcast?
This was before we did the podcast. This was way before. This was like
Oh.
4 or 5 months ago.
Is this why you thought about doing the show? Like
Yes,
it started up
because he
again?
popped up. Yeah, because he popped up. So
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
I see him and I stopped for a second and I full on looked at him. Like I didn't just see it out of the corner. I full on went and I stood there and I looked at him. And I literally said out loud, I went, I don't have time for this. I gotta go. And I went out the front door.
She said, I ain't got no time for that.
Nobody got no time for this. I was pissed. I was pissed. I was like, why are you doing this right when I have to leave for work? Like, you are making me late, you know? And then I felt kind of like a jerk because I left my kids with this crazy thing. But I knew it wasn't going to bother them. I knew it was there for me. I knew it was there to scare me.
Right.
So I go out the door.
And that's been kind of the funny thing we've talked about. Like, he's really only attached to your presence. Your kids don't like really feel him or see him unless you're there, but they're not having individual experiences with him.
I have to be around. Yeah. Oh, I should talk about those too one day, about the kids seeing them. But anyways, so I go out the door and I'm pissed, but I can still feel it. I can feel that heavy presence. And I'm like trying to lock my door and I'm just like fighting it, like not trying not to let myself get scared, to like, it's the presence is filling it. And you know, like when you get scared, you feel that adrenaline, that panic.
Yeah.
Trying not to let the panic set in and win.
Yeah.
So I'm just like locking my door and I shut the screen and then I go to the garage door and I open that up. And as I open up the garage door, I really just open up the big garage. I don't turn on the light. But when you open up the big garage door, like a little light goes on in the garage door opener.
Right.
So that goes, I press the thing and the light goes on, it starts going up and I look in my car and there's something sitting in my front seat. And I was just like, and I got scared, but I also got pissed again. And so I walked up to my car, like all determined, and I ripped open the door and I looked in and it was gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe just my anger made it go away because it didn't get the reaction it wanted. It did scare me, but it didn't stop me.
It didn't run you off.
Yeah, it didn't stop me. It didn't make me hide. It didn't make me go away. I think maybe that's why it went away.
Oof,
and so now
can you see, can the viewers see, I have literally goosebumps up and down my arms. And it is like muggy. I'm in South Carolina. It's muggy and hot. I am just like, oof.
I I don't know what to, I mean, yeah, I figured it out. I think I figured it out. I just need to be pissed at it when it comes around, because now there are times when I'm driving to work and I'll see it in my rear view. It'll flash for a second and it won't stay there long, but I'll just see it and I'm like, oh. And so what I'll do is I will literally go like this and I'll hit into the back and I'll start checking in the wheel, like the feet wells, like almost like I'm trying to grab something, because I'm almost trying to like treat it like it's a human and I'm trying to get it.
Well, what you're saying is, even though in your mind maybe you're scared, you're telling it, you know what, you're not scaring me. I'm sick of this, actually. I'm sick of you being around, which realistically, that is how you should be approaching it, because I feel like for whatever reason, this thing started itself with you and then leaves and comes back, has to do a lot with what's going on with your mentality at the time, or stress, or, you know, when you're tired or whatever. So if in those moments, you're going, get out of here. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm so tired of this. Yeah, I think it's gonna get the message. Hold that thought.
It doesn't go away.
What is all the screaming? Wow.
Okay, my husband called me.
No, that's just it's almost upsetting to hear you recant those stories, because I can feel that. I can feel your feelings, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it does. I'm not shaking my head because no, you can't. I'm just, don't get me wrong. There's times where I still get scared and I won't get angry. There have been times in the car, well, I'll get scared and I'll just sit there. But for the most part, I've been trying to make myself lash out at it. I don't know if it's working. It's probably not working. It still comes around.
Probably not.
At least I'm changed my, my
your response to it. I think that's important too. Like, we joke, we love to joke, but it's a real flip of the mind to have to even think to myself, every time I get in my car, am I going to see something? Every time I get in every time, because realistically, why he's in the car. That's when you're alone. That's when you're
alone the most. And I'm vulnerable and my hands are busy. I can't, I could slam on the brakes and stop, but it's like being in the shower. You're very vulnerable.
Exactly.
You can't use all your capacities. So,
exactly. And and that is when, okay, this will make everyone laugh, because I know everyone will relate to this. When you're driving home from work and you don't know how you drove home, you don't remember the drive home.
You spaced out, yeah.
You spaced out, but somehow you made it home. It's because, when you're driving, unless you've got like kids or other people in the car, when you're by yourself, that you zone. You know the route home, where you're going to turn, how fast you need to go. You've driven it 100 times. And so you get in your car and you let your guard down. Because you're in your car, you're safe, you've got your seatbelt on, you've got your music going, whatever. That's why it always happens that way. Every time.
Yeah.
Creepy as heck. All right. Yeah. Do you want me to, I'll jump into mine.
Yeah, you go into yours.
So I talked on the first episode about the man at my dad's house. And to that day, that was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. But actually what I'm going to share today is the scariest thing I think I've ever experienced personally, and have never shared this with anyone except for Nathaniel. So if I get a little bit weirded out, I apologize. But so Ephraim, my youngest son, was born. We lived in Oklahoma, and he was maybe 4 months old. He was still a pretty little guy. And I didn't have postpartum depression. Luckily, I didn't struggle with that. We were doing well. It was like summertime, just having a good time. And it's about 8 o'clock at night, and the baby is in his bassinet next to the bed, and he was sleeping, and all my lights all the lights were off, but I had the TV on. So I had the light from the TV, and Nathaniel was in the living room and the kids were asleep. So yeah, it was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And I'm laying in bed, totally chill. The baby just ate, you know, we were kind of packing it in for the night. And I think I was watching, funny enough, Les Mis, like a musical. Okay. And I all of a sudden had like paralysis. So like from my head to my toes, it sort of just took over. Like I couldn't move for some reason. And you know, have you ever been falling asleep and you do the lucid dream where that happens? Have you ever had that? Like you're in between sleep and awake. So your body's asleep, but your eyes are up. And so you can see, but you can't move. It's a real thing.
No.
Oh yeah, lucid dreaming. And it's happened to me before. So I thought, oh, I'm lucid dreaming. I must have dozed off. So you can doze off with your eyes open. No, I wasn't lucid dreaming. What happened is my whole body basically I was unable to tell my body to move. So I was saying, get up, get up, get up. And all of a sudden from the corners of the room, it went dark like this, like towards me. And even the TV went dark. And off to the left in the corner, there was a person, like a black shadow standing in the corner. And Nathaniel, my husband, can account for this because it almost makes me emotional to talk about it because I've never experienced something like that before where I couldn't move. So in my head, I'm literally having a panic attack. I'm the baby's next to me. I'm all alone, couldn't move, could not move my body. Didn't know what the heck happened. Wasn't lucid dreaming because whenever I lucid dream, I can go, oh, you're lucid dreaming, wake up. This was different. I couldn't wake up. I couldn't move. And it was just getting darker and darker and darker and darker. And if you've ever seen someone in a movies talk about this, where you're screaming in your head and you think you're screaming out loud, but you're not, it's just in your head. I was screaming in my head for what seemed like 2-3 minutes. Finally, my mouth worked. And instead of screaming, I just went, Nathaniel, Nathaniel. Like I couldn't even, like my vocal cords wouldn't work. And then finally, like whatever happened released from me. And I went, Nathaniel. And I started bawling my eyes out. I started crying so hard, like a little child, sobbing, could not catch my breath. I was so intensely scared. To think of it now makes my stomach like do flip-flops. You know what I mean? Like that kind of scared. And so finally, the darkness starts to go away and I screamed, Nathaniel. He comes running down the hallway. I'm in the bed. I'm just barely able to finally sit up. And he's like, what's, and I said, I don't know what happened. I'm just bawling. I said, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I said, the whole room went dark. I'm like, something was here. Something was trying to, like, I felt like at the time it was trying to get me or it was trying to get the baby. It was very, very malevolent. It was very malicious. It was not a good feeling. It was not like a, benign. It was a very intentive, angry feeling. And then mixed with the emotion of like, I couldn't move. So if something happened, I couldn't even like reach over and grab the baby. And it's one of those things I've never shared because like you've said, sometimes you share an experience and you feel like it makes it more, like it gives it more power or whatever. So I don't like, I've never shared except for with Nathaniel, but I felt like to really help people understand and solidify why it is we do what we do. When you have these experiences, there's no justification for a logical and sound-minded person to lose the ability to move, to lose the ability to speak, to have darkness come around you, and to see things that are not physical. These entities do not own a physical body. but to like, I'm shaking, like to know that they're there, you can't deny.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, I'm not trying to get really heavy, but it's really to help people understand that in those moments, they're real. You know, having someone not validate that makes you feel awful. And it makes you really question your sanity. And it makes you question, you know, is there something wrong with me? And the answer is no. The answer is no to all of those.
Yeah.
I just think that there's very unique people in this world who experience a very, very small gap between our physical bodies and our spiritual realities. And I think for whatever reason, you and I, and we have totally different, we don't have shared experiences. Our experiences are totally different ends of the spectrum even. But to have someone else be able to say, I know exactly what that feels like that was the whole reason we wanted to talk about this. And, you know, to joke and have a good time too. But I question sharing because I don't want people to think that we're not sincere, that we're exaggerating, or we're craving attention even. Like, trust me,
You
I
think I'd
don't
come up
want
with
it.
something better than them poking the back of my car seat? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, I just want to be free from knowing this could happen again. I don't ever want it to happen again. And it has, but at least in sharing, I feel like I'm empowered a little bit. Like you said, like to be mad, like, why me? Why are you and I having these experiences? Why is anybody having these experiences? And just the impact that they have. I don't know. That's the only reason I really wanted to share that today. I don't have anything particularly funny to tell about it.
you don't
But
think it was sleep paralysis?
I'm telling you, I have had sleep paralysis before. I have lucid dreamed before.
Felt different?
It was totally different experience. It was like being underwater. It was like, you know, the pressure you feel when you're underwater, even though you're floating, you feel the pressure of water.
Oh yeah.
It was like that, as if I was anti-gravity, but there was pressure, so I could not move. It was inexplicable to me. I've not had a second experience in that way that I could go, oh yeah, these are things that kept happening. This was a very singular experience. And I've had panic attacks, and I've had lucid dreaming. I've had sleep paralysis. I've had anxiety attacks that have stopped me cold to where like my legs went numb. This is not that. This is something external that made its way into my room, made its way into my presence, made its presence felt and known, just to be malicious.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can attribute to that time is that, you know, after you have a baby and you're tired and your hormones are changing, you're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know,
you are.
You know, so it just, and that's why I always say it always happens when I'm alone, never when I'm with someone else. Never. So what does that tell you? They wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They wait for the right time.
Yeah.
So to make the most noise.
So
Not noise,
anyway,
literally, but noise.
I'm gonna drink my Red Bull and like change the page.
Okay, hold that thought. My kids are bugging me. Ben, what does this kid want? Okay, she's in the middle of sort of like a ritual, which is the same ritual that they did to kill themselves in her cult, because she was the only surviving person. She was supposed to survive to tell their story and to make it happen again. But then she got help and stuff. But anyway, she's reverted. She's doing the ritual to the kids. she sees the dad, he's come in the house, and I forgot to tell you this, he was her psychiatrist, and they fell in love, and he was dating her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he comes in the house and he sees all these things that she has like set up and things that are happening, and he's like,
He knows.
crap.
Yeah, he knows.
So he comes around the corner, and I won't tell you what happens, but she ends up killing everybody, basically.
Yeah.
But I won't tell you how they die. But she ends up killing everybody in the house, and then it ends.
Right.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's called The Lodge.
Yeah, I've just ruined it for you totally.
No,
but I mean, it's good.
Actually, when people talk about scary stories, I want to watch them, even if I know the punchline, because I still want to watch them. You know what I mean? Like, because you made it sound so good. I'm like, so yeah, no, I love it. Okay, so I will give you a synopsis of I've watched it for years. It's always kind of a goody kind of scary movie. I still get creeped out about it because it's written well and it's acted well, actually, which, sometimes scary movies are not acted very well. Anyway, so it's called The Unborn. It was filmed in 2009. I wrote it down. What's her name? So the main character is Odette Annabelle. And basically what happens is you find out her mother, who killed herself, was a twin. And because the twin died in the womb, there were evil spirits that were able to basically come through, like it created like a chasm or something like that. I don't remember, but she basically ate her twin in the womb. And because of that, it created this pattern. Because I won't tell you everything that happened in the movie, because I do want you to watch it. So the mother goes insane. She goes to an insane asylum and kills herself. And you don't know why, and I'm not going to tell you why. But the daughter finds out later on in the movie, she's all grown up, she's in college now, that she also had a twin, and that the twin also died. And so there's this generational curse with the twins and one dying, and basically having an entity attach itself to this family. Okay. So throughout the movie, and Odette Annabelle, she's a really good actress. So she's really believable for a logical, sound-minded person being essentially haunted and having like an entity attach itself. There's a lot to do in the movie with mirrors. There's a creepy little kid in the movie who actually kills his baby sister because he's taken over by an entity. Okay. So throughout the movie, you get the storyline of how this creepy demon attaches itself to the family. And that's really interesting and cool, which I love when a story isn't like just straight to gore.
Yeah.
But then later on, basically they have to fight it. They have to fight this demon, get rid of it. And so she kind of collects these people along the way that are trying to help her. Basically, everybody gets killed. But she does fight the demon, and she does break the curse or whatever the case. But the visuals in the movie are very good because they're not corny and they're not generic. So this is the part, I might have mentioned it in one of the other episodes, where there's a dog. So she's at this place. She's trying to figure out how to get help from this old lady who has it. She's a character in the movie, and she lives in an assisted living home. Well, there's a dog that lives there, and the demon takes over the dog, and the dog is standing. This is where I told you the dog is standing at the top of the stairs. Very cute. It's one of those. It's the Target dog. It's a bull terrier, I think.
Yeah.
And the demon, he's looking at the camera like this, and then the demon takes his head and spins it all the way around. So then he's looking at the camera upside down. But it's the visual of it was so clean. And then because the dog doesn't know that it's being attacked, it doesn't know that a demon took over its body. So imagine a dog, head all the way screwed around upside down looking at you. It just creates such a vibe of like, could that really happen? And that is why this movie is so good, because there's some things that happen that I feel like, based on our experiences, could happen. So they're not all crazy supernatural. It's like the kid gets taken over by a demon, the dog gets taken over, like it makes itself known in the movie. And that is why I love it, because it's like I know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah.
So anyway, check it out. It's called The Unborn.
I'm gonna watch it tonight, but
It's
BT
really
dubs.
good. Yeah. And then tell us on the next episode. Okay.
How I like
so
it.
you wanted to talk about what we're going to talk about on the next episode, because I'm really excited to get into this newer topic for us. Yeah.
Because we like to talk a lot.
We do.
Okay, so
we do.
next time we are going to do our top 5 scary movies, and they're going to be basically the movies that are the ones that either scared us the most or that we just watch because they're just our go-to, but it's going to be our 5 favorite ones. And why are they our favorites? Why do we love them so much? Why do we rewatch them? Why do they scare us continually? So I'm super excited to get into that. I'm going to make my list.
Yeah. I'm excited because I know that we are going to cringe at each other for what our favorites are. And we're going to argue about this, but I can guarantee you at least one of the movies will be the same movie.
You think?
Yes. Okay. For viewers, we are not going to tell each other what we're bringing onto the show.
Oh, okay.
Let's bring our favorite 5 without saying and see if at least one of them is the same. Okay. Because we are serious connoisseurs, but we do have a different little taste about scary movies, I think. Yeah.
Our taste is different. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll be really cool. What else did we wanted to tell people to write in too, right?
Oh yeah. Definitely write in. We have our Instagram. It's, at Frickin Scary on Instagram. You can DM us on there. I check it all the time. Nobody does. It's bone dry. But
well, we're new. I would love, if anyone's listening, if you have any experience, big or small, heavy or funny, we would love to hear
anything,
we would love to give you a shout out, and we would love to share those experiences from other people. So if anybody's brave enough, I think it'd be really cool to have on the next
record
episode.
it on your phone and just send it to our DM. Does DMs take that? Or you could
I'm not sure.
I should probably come up with an email. I'll come up with an email at the end. I'll make an email. Or don't we have an email? You said no, we don't have one yet, huh? I only have the email that's connected to our YouTube. So I'll make one for Frickin Scary, and then that way you can just make it flash at the end.
Yeah. Hey,
and then they can email that.
We're learning as we go. Yeah. If you guys have an interesting story, I think Instagram right now would be the best. Just DM us. Don't worry about the length. Just give us your best details. And we can give you a shout out and we can share your experience.
Or you can record it and we can play it,
That would be cool too.
Yeah.
If you guys if you guys, we'll set it up. We'll set it up for sure. Okay. Did we want to share anything else today? I feel like we covered a lot.
I know we did. We have a lot to digest there.
Okay.
So, all right, I'll sign off. I just got to tell you guys, I freaking love doing this podcast. So thank you so much if you're listening. And if you're not, I'm gonna keep doing it anyways, because I freaking love it, All right. So this has been Frickin Scary with Holly and Melorie, and we'll see you soon.